Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Shelbyville Now's breaking news. Josh, we've got some breaking news from last night.
We do. We've got, I'm going to title this Opportunity Lost.
Opportunity
today.
lost.
Opportunity
Okay.
lost.
What was the opportunity
We
for?
talked Saturday
Yeah.
that we had an opportunity this week to bury the hatchet and bring things back together from the city and the county on the lawsuit over the sales tax. And the decision was made last night to continue on, push forward with the legal action. So we're going back to court, to the Court of Appeals. This will be a 3-judge panel, and they will review the case that was just recently decided, ruled on by Judge Ash, I think it was, out of Murfreesboro, on sales tax revenue, the division of sales tax revenue between the city and the county. I can tell you I was there last night. They had the two nice high-powered attorneys out of Nashville wearing suits that probably cost more than my whole wardrobe. Were there. They behind closed doors, they did a little presentation. Let me tell you, if you bring a couple attorneys in and ask them if you should go to court, that's kind of like if I drove my Honda over to Newton today and asked the car dealer, you think I should replace this car or not?
Yeah, that's their business, isn't it?
What do you think the car dealer is going to tell me? Oh, no, you don't need a new car. Well, imagine, oddly enough, the attorney said, sure, let's go back to court. So they're going to get some more money. Our attorneys are going to get some more money. The city's attorneys are going to get some more money. So I don't know what the appeals court will rule. I can tell you the winner will continue to be the attorneys. So they're going to win 100% of the time. So,
well, from the city standpoint, I think this was pretty much anticipated. I anticipated this.
Yeah, I think it was kind of anticipated. I mean, I was a little disappointed with the vote count. We can get into that real quick. We had 13 commissioners vote to continue on with the court process. The two no votes were Commissioners Maddox and Diane Neely. I spoke to both of them right afterwards, and they wanted to make it real clear that, because this is, the talk track is going to be, schools,
right.
And somebody's going to come out there and say, oh, they don't want to fund our schools.
Yeah.
Much like the city is not against funding for schools, neither of those two commissioners have anything against schools. I mean, Commissioner Neely, she served on the school board for years.
Right.
So this had nothing to do with whether or not we want money in schools. For both of them, they were very clear. The reason they voted no was they think, and they've heard from their constituents, that people are tired of this bickering back and forth between the city and the county, and it just needed to be put to bed. We also had 2 abstains. That was Commissioner Hooker and Commissioner Troy Thompson were the 2 abstains. Or pass, I think is technically what they called it.
Right.
And then Commissioner Anderson, he passed by virtue of walking out and not staying to hear from the attorneys. So,
right. He wasn't at the meeting. So
yeah. So
you've got, all right. Yeah. So tell me, if you pass, isn't that the same as a no?
That is, and I don't know. I wasn't able to speak to either of them after the meeting. In my mind, I think that's them saying they're also sick of this bickering in the lawsuit. They just didn't want to put a no vote out there, probably out of the same concern that Commissioner Neely expressed to me, that they don't want it to look like, oh, we're voting against funding for schools.
I think
everybody is for funding the schools. Nobody. This has nothing to do about funding the schools.
All right,
this has to do about stopping the bickering.
If we keep playing that card, it starts to look a little silly at this point.
Yeah.
And I think probably they got a sales job from the attorneys. Oh, we can get this overturned.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't in that meeting, but I can tell you, I've sat in a couple of these, and here's what the attorney said. The attorney said, "Oh, we got this in the bag. We got this figured out. We know what this judge did. We're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win." The problem with that is this same attorney 2 months ago sat in the same room with the same commissioners and said, "Oh, we got the case in the bag. We're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win," and then he lost.
Right.
So now you're trusting him to do the same thing that he just couldn't do. So if I'm a commissioner and I voted yes, I am like praying to God that we win this time. Because if not, the old adage is fool me once, shame on you. Yeah. Fool me twice, shame on me. So if I buy the same story twice and lose both times, I don't know. Okay. I wouldn't be able to show my face in public.
All right. So is there any chance of the city saying, okay, guys, let's stop, let's get in a room and let's leave the attorneys out of it, drop the lawsuit, get in a room, work out something. The city has basically won. Okay.
That was the other opportunity last night. They had the option to make an offer to the city that was completely different than what the judge ruled. They could have come back and said, hey, we don't agree with what the judge said, but we're willing to negotiate now. We can see there is some legal ground here because obviously we did have a ruling. So let's try to find a middle ground and sit in a room. They didn't even present an offer or make an attempt to make an offer.
All right, so, here's my question.
Yeah.
I'm upset that the city brought this lawsuit up to begin with.
Right.
I'm upset that nobody could get in a room and talk before it got to that point.
Yeah.
All right. So now, could the city come up and say, we won, but let's talk and change the direction on this whole thing?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the city has made multiple offers during this process, including offers that are better than what the court ruling was. The initial offer was for a 20-year taper off, and that was rejected out of hand without even sitting in a room.
This whole thing still sounds like we're going to win at all costs. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
This is not a sport.
No.
Okay. This is like two government entities within 50 feet of each other.
Yeah. Fighting and using taxpayer money to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So my question is, would the city, and you don't know this, I mean, it takes the whole body and everything. I mean, wouldn't that could that be a possibility that we're saying, let's get in the room and talk, and let's just forget about winning and losing. Let's just move on and split this up somehow.
I'm just one person on the council. I'd sit down and talk with him today.
Yeah.
But you
got to go along with
and majority. And I think the other side has to be willing to do that. And there was no indication last night that there was any attempt that they were.
This is kind of like Mike Tyson getting in the ring.
Yeah.
And blowing his opponent, knocking him flat out. And he can go over and help him up, dust him off, and set him in the corner and say, now let's talk about this. Right. Or he can just keep pounding on him. One of the two. Because it sounds like once you get this ruling, it's hard to overturn. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't know. As far as the legal thing, like I said, I don't know which side is going to win. Yeah. All I know is the lawyers are going to win, and and the people are going to lose. So, and I'll tell you, I was talking to somebody this week, side topic about economic development. You know, the city's been looking to do stuff. We're having all these meetings. They said if I were you, I wouldn't spend a dime on economic development right now. If I'm a big company looking to come into town, I mean, who wants to walk into a place where the city and the county are fighting? If I'm Publix or a big national brand, I'd stay so far away from here that you couldn't find me. So
I mean, you can't even get along there. You expect us to come into that?
Right? Mix? You expect us to move into that? Yeah. I mean, why spend $100,000-$200,000 this year to try to recruit industry if you can't even get along amongst yourselves? So,
good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
And we're heading into election season, so the rhetoric is going to really crank up in the next 12 months. Because this is about
people don't want our kids to be dumb.
This is like a 12 to 18 month process. We're told on this appeal, so that's going to run us right through into the election.
All right, I think the general public is just getting tired of it.
Yeah.
But Josh, thanks for the report. Thanks for being there last night. Guys, thanks for watching. We'll be back Saturday with the news that matters.
Yeah, and we'll cover more. There was a lot more that went on at this meeting that we'll dig into on Saturday.
Absolutely. So. It was looked like a Chinese fire drill. We'll talk about that Saturday.
Yeah. We'll see you then.